Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. I'm Nathan. I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, together we have just been for a behind closed doors session with Spider-Man. Insomniac Games Spider-Man, which was probably one of the highlights of the PlayStation Showcase last night. And this was the demo, gameplay demo stroke trailer that they showed last night with a few detours and a little bit extra. And so this video is 7 things we have now confirmed about Spider-Man.
That's right, Insomniac were there, it was a live demo, and we were able to ask some questions.
Yes.
Some of which we've had answered, which we're going to bring you now, starting with
some of which we've had teased.
Yes,
okay, point number 1 is that this is their own Spider-Man universe. They're very pleased about this. They're not spinning off or adapting any of the kind of the line of the comics or of the various kind of cinematic universes. This is their own one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are going to be characters from other universes, but as you say, this is their world, this is their story that they are telling. Yeah,
so they kind of, you know, I guess that there's a certain amount of freedom that comes with that. Like you said, there are kind of people like Norman Osborn and the villains that we already saw last night, Wilson Fisk and Mr. Negative, who obviously are familiar to people who are really familiar with the comics. But yeah, this is their own thing. Point number 1. Point number 2, which people weren't sure about after the tease at the end of last night's trailer.
That's very true.
But you are Peter Parker.
Yes, you are.
Spider-Man is Peter Parker in this game.
And more importantly, or maybe more telling than that, is you are 23-year-old Peter Parker.
Yes.
So they were, right at the start of the presentation, they said this is not an origin story.
Yep.
You are not 15-year-old Peter Parker, you're 23, you have been Spider-Man for 8 years.
You're really good at it.
You're really good at it, which I actually got from the gameplay, to be honest. I mean, he looked pretty good at it, to be fair.
Yeah, he did, yeah. No, you know, it's often the case when you're starting kind of a new, because this is, you know, Spider-Man, first time on PlayStation 4 from Insomniac Games. It is tempting to go, all right, let's start from the beginning and do the origin story. Yeah. But it makes sense now that I think that these, you know, Spider-Man is in the kind of the cultural consciousness. People are very familiar with him and what he does. He is a Spider-Man. And so you know, it just means we can kick off straight away. And talking about Peter Parker, Dave, you asked a very interesting question, which was, at any point do you get to play as Peter Parker rather than being in the costume? To which James Stevenson, the community director from Insomniac, kind of went, well. And he wasn't a definite yes, but what he said was Peter Parker is, you know, an intrinsic part of Spider-Man, and we are telling it's very much the, you know, he is still Peter Parker struggling to pay his rent. Is that whole side of it's just as important as the action. So there will be lots to do as Peter Parker, which to me it was a fairly heavy hint as far as I was concerned, and also that there would be kind of, you know, the whole romance, Aunt May's in the background.
No romance with Aunt May.
No,
just to make that clear.
No,
because that's you said that in a weird way.
And you wouldn't you know, tell us what characters might be involved, but you know, it's Peter Parker. Number 3, then, you can free roam all of Manhattan.
Hey, no, I mean, that's good news.
I mean, this was my question. I just wanted to be sure, man.
Yeah, I know, because you do want to just know that. And obviously, the demo that we saw was sort of like a very sort of set piece heavy.
It was like a big climax of you know, some portion of the story. So yeah, you're right.
It's great to have that confirmed that yes, you can free roam around Manhattan.
Dude, some of the other bits and pieces that came out, the web slinging is physics-based, which is maybe a nerdy point, but one I'm really, really pleased about, because it means that, you know, he's saying we've made web, it sticks to walls, and that's how you get around. You know, it's like it's contextual. There's not set points where you kind of interact with the architecture. You are, you know, slinging yourself around Manhattan.
Yes.
Manhattan is the biggest game they've ever made.
Yes, that's true.
They said it's 6 to 7 times bigger than the map from their previous game. And there are other ways of getting around as well. You can zip to stuff using your web, and you can wall run as well.
Yeah, he was really excited about it actually, and would like to have had more time to see a bit more of it. But I mean,
I would have just watched
excited.
him swinging down, you know, 5th Avenue. That would have been awesome. Also, did confirm that the free roaming Manhattan will be unlocked completely from the start.
That's true.
And that there will be other activities and things to do in Manhattan from the beginning. So kind of we're looking at an open world Spider-Man with open world missions.
I think that's a headline that people wanted to hear.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Okay, number 4 is the physics-based web slinging.
Oh, we've done that one.
So I've done that one. So I mean, this is like when you do your homework the night before. So that's good, which means I can move right on to number 5, which is about that. James spoke about the gadgets, upgrades, and abilities.
Yes.
Just that, you know, Peter Parker is a genius.
Yeah.
And he makes stuff, and you're going to be able to use that stuff.
Yes, and what's more, he will be making stuff throughout the game, which is what you're trying to say, I guess. Is that, you know, he's going to come up with inventions. You're going to, as you play through the game, as you progress, get new gadgets that you can use in different exciting ways, and new abilities.
And part of that, I guess, because obviously he's made his own suit.
Yeah.
did also say that it wouldn't reveal the exact details around it, but did say that the white spider on the spider suit, that has an explanation within the story.
And that will be explained within the game, but he didn't want to spoil that. That's something we will discover when we play the game. So
exactly.
That's
so we'll make another video about that.
Yeah.
And then number 6, there are other villains. So we obviously saw Wilson Fisk last night and Mr. Negative. I think that what we saw last night was fairly early in the game.
Yes.
So it would be a bit of an anticlimax if those were the only 2 villains.
That's true.
It looks like they've both been caught now.
That's true.
So there are other ones. So that's the headline for you.
That's true. Yeah. In fact, that was early in the game. We had that confirmed. So that was what we saw last night. Was actually quite early in the game.
Finally, then number 7 on the subject of Miles Morales. James was happy to confirm that it's not just a cameo, that he has a role to play in the game.
That's true.
No revealing what that might be. Of course, everyone and his dog were saying, is he also going to be Spider-Man in some capacity? And that's the natural question. We're going to have to play the game to find out, I think. But yeah, Miles Morales has more than what we saw last night to do in this Spider-Man game.
And I'm more than happy to play the game to find out. I think everyone should be like, let something should be left as a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go to one of them presentations there, and this is how the game ends, guys. So yeah, this is final boss. These are all the details along the way. So yeah, those are 7 things we've had confirmed, which have only made me more excited for this Spider-Man game.
Definitely.
Man, physics-based web slinging. So excited that I simply started talking about it before the point came up.
I know. But what we saw just then was amazing. I mean, seeing it, I've got to admit, we were lucky enough to be at the presentation last night, the PlayStation conference, and it looked amazing. We were sat craning our necks at a huge, cinema screen. But seeing it up close on a 4K TV with HDR, it looked unbelievably good, and it's so smooth, and going seamlessly from sort of like gameplay to cutscene and things like that.
And because of the nature of this video, we didn't really get to talk about the combat, but I was really paying attention to kind of trying to break down how it works and stuff. And that looks really smart as well. Spider senses, reflective dodging, active finishes and stuff like that. So we're excited about Spider-Man.
Yeah, we are.
We hope you are too. Let us know in the comments what you think. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned to Access because we've got loads more coming up from E3.